Hello Ben, nice to meet you in Hungary.
Hello everyone. Really nice weather, nice country. Yeah.
How do you enjoy so far?
Amazing. It's my first time here, and I only arrived 2 days ago. But I've been in love with the view and the weather, and the food is really good too. So, yeah.
Did you try the goulash soup?
Yes, I tried.
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
I also tried the stew. So they had the goulash and then they had the beef stew.
Yeah.
The beef stew, not much soup. The goulash is really nice.
Okay, first of all, my community always asks me that what's the best exchange to use now in Hungary, what's the safest one, and for the features, for the improvements. And that's why I invited you to make from the source. We want to know the knowledge from the source.
Nice. Okay.
And first of all, I want to ask you that why do you launch the Bybit EU platform? So why is it a separate platform now?
Well, it's separate because it's per EU regulations. You have to keep clients' data, all the information within EU server. So why we launched it? Because EU had always been the largest market for us. I think even for any exchange, EU is just huge. So it makes sense for Bybit to get the license, and we are lucky that we were among the first ones to get it. So the Bybit EU is launching very soon. And actually, we are doing an event here in Budapest.
And if the users now sign up to the Bybit EU, do you have any advantage, or do you get do they get any bonuses?
Yeah, so that will all come. So we are working on that. I think the site is launching in 2 weeks, and you will see the fees are competitive. In terms of also liquidity, you will see a very strong liquidity on the Bybit EU site.
So and now you can launch all the features or the products, or later?
So we are launching spot for now. We are applying for MiFID. Once MiFID is approved, we will be able to launch margin and low leverage derivatives.
Okay. And how do you see the deposit and the withdrawal? Because the biggest problem in EU countries is how they can deposit, withdraw with the SEPA system, or what platforms you integrate?
So we have integrated with SEPA completely. So clients can just deposit euros, and you will have euro pairs on Bybit EU.
Oh wow!
You have euro pairs, and then so you can easily deposit euros and then buy crypto and swap into cryptos, and then all these things.
And you use the euro stablecoin also.
Stablecoin, I'm not sure. I'm sure we have the actual euro pairs. So euro BTC, euro ETH, euro stablecoins and things like that.
How do you deal with the safety part and about the funds? How are they protected? Yeah,
so obviously we went through the hack, and if the audience don't know the hack, it was one of the largest hacks in the history. But fortunately, it was not Bybit system that got hacked. It was the Safe Wallet system that got hacked. We used that. So after that, we have strengthened our security, and we did a multiple third-party audit on our own warm and hot wallet solutions. So that's completely safe. And for EU users, the wallet solution is completely built for EU. And that's also being audited by the regulator, by our MiCA regulator, which is Austria. So they have looked at and making sure the cold wallet, everything stays within the EU, so it's safe. And again, I think Bybit is very much battle tested, so we will make sure that it won't happen again.
So as you say, you have a growing user base here, and is the biggest one from
Europe is the largest.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah.
And do you plan any exclusive promotions for the EU users?
Yeah, so once we launch the site, we will do, because it's a dedicated EU site, all of the promotion will happen only for the EU users. We're also looking into big branding initiatives, big sponsorships for the EU, so the EU users might like. We're looking into a few opportunities, but also I think we're launching the Bybit card, which is going to have special bonus.
That's one of the biggest questions, the Bybit card.
Yeah, for the EU users, not only cashback, but for the things that you guys use here in Europe, right? Uber, Grab, things like that, will have a way to give you points on that. Yeah, I think as we grow, we'll definitely, localization is very crucial. We have a big team here in Europe.
And do you plan to launch customer service, customer support
Yeah.
in the languages
Yes.
in the European
Yes,
countries?
yes. So we already have that. We're gradually opening up more languages as we grow in EU. Yeah.
Okay. And personally, what features or products you like the most, which is going to be launched or just launched? So like a very new feature, maybe AI tools.
No, the latest
copy
feature
trading.
is actually TradeFi. We launched TradeFi, so you can actually trade gold, forex, oil on the global platform.
Okay.
We are also getting a CFD license in Europe. Once we get the CFD license, you'll be able to trade basically gold, forex, TradeFi product on Bybit EU. So we're enabling that, and hopefully very soon you'll be able to see that on Bybit EU.
Okay. If we talk about the market in a bigger picture, what do you think, what can be the next technological step for the Web3 or the blockchain, which maybe can trigger a bull market also?
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking today, there's a lot of uncertainties now
Yeah.
with the war going on, and I think this week the price has been kind of dropping a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think new innovation will always come. I think there's a few big areas where I see a trend of Web2 money moving in, is that we talk to the regulator globally, right? One thing I think a lot of the traditional folks look into Web3 is to see Web3 has really efficient in capital markets, raising money, right?
Yeah.
We've seen that right now, if you are a startup company, if you want to raise capital, the most efficient market is the US stock market, and then the next is probably Hong Kong and these type of places. But Web3 gives so much more opportunity. When you launch a token, you can raise, but how to put that into a regulated framework,
Yeah.
right? No one has done it so far. Up until now, launching a token, raise money is still unregulated.
Yeah.
But I think regulator is looking into it to convert this into a much more efficient, but also a regulated way to do that for legitimate company to raise money in the Web3. So I think capital market is a huge thing. And then I think the next focus for a lot of the countries is stablecoin. So I think US just passed the stablecoin law.
Yes.
And then I think the next big push is many jurisdictions will start to follow. EU, stablecoins, and then the Japanese yen stablecoin, all these things. This would kind of fuse the adoption of crypto. So I think technology is one thing, but I'm looking more into the old world to see what are the features that Web3 already offers that will get people excited on this side. And I think stablecoin and capital market is two very big ones. And I think that will kind of really pump a lot of people into Web3 and crypto.
That's a very good point of view. Thank you. Okay, that's a bit funny question. So if you live in Hungary and you are in the 20s, how would you start the crypto now? What would be the first steps? Of course, you register the Bybit EU platform, and after?
I'll first find a Hungarian girlfriend. That's what I would do if I'm not married 20.
Nice.
That's the logic when I first arrived. Oh, nice. Yeah. No. My advice to people is for me. I've always stick to the fundamental. I just kind of DCA, dollar cost average Bitcoin, right? I think I'm a Bitcoin maximalist.
Yeah, that's good. Me too.
But a lot of people, I do acknowledge when they move into the crypto, they look at Bitcoin, it's too expensive.
Yeah.
And they do go to meme coins and things like that. My advice is just understand the risk of what you're getting into. If you're in the mindset to gamble, then be prepared to face the consequence of gambling. But if you want to exponentially, gradually grow your wealth and treat this as a wealth management, then don't be so greedy. The challenge is most people buy meme coin, and they don't realize they're gambling. It's like you go to casino, you know you're gambling.
Yeah.
And it's okay if you lose all of it, right? But so my advice is that if you want to stick to the fundamental, I think stick to Bitcoin, the major tokens. And in fact, there are a lot of earn product right now offered in crypto, even on the exchange, that offers you 20 to 30% yield easy.
Yeah.
Right. So even if you just buy stablecoin, change your US dollar from the bank to a stablecoin, and you can earn 20 to 30%. That's a lot higher than in a bank. So change the mentality a little bit. Don't kind of expect 100x in a few months. But again, if you in that mentality, that's fine as well. Yeah.
That's good because this fits what I teach to the people.
Okay,
I teach
good.
the same, just start with the Bitcoin, do the
Okay.
DCA,
Yeah.
and use the products, like the earn products is very nice.
But then people will call you boring.
Yeah.
But if they come here for a lot of crazy gains,
Yeah.
of course, you got to face the consequence, right? Yeah.
This is a bit personal question. What was your motivation when you started Bybit?
Well, I think as any startup entrepreneur, initially was to make money, feed the family, enjoy a financial freedom like anyone else. I don't think when you start a startup, you kind of thinking changing the world.
Sure.
But when you realize you have such a good opportunity, and I think not because you work so hard, because you're so lucky that you work in the industry that gives you exponential result with the same effort. So if I spend the same effort and I open a coffee shop, the result is not going to be as crazy as crypto. So I think we all got to number one thank the industry, because this industry is something that gives equal opportunity to everyone. It breaks a lot of the red tapes, the barriers, if you're in the traditional world, you know.
Okay.
And when you realize that, I think as an entrepreneur or a founder, then you realize you want to make an impact, because you're so fortunate that, and then you realize you can make a lot more impact by building a product and influence millions of people. So the goal kind of changed as you grow. For now, for me, it's really just to help with crypto adoption, because I truly believe in crypto and the power of crypto. And I can't believe the world still uses the banking system and many of the outdated technology that we can change many people's life. So in a way, I think that's kind of the motivation.
And how do you stay motivated nowadays? Because I guess you have a lot of work and a lot of meetings, and how you schedule your life, how you stay focused and also motivated in the same time.
Yeah, I don't think I'm a work-life balance guy. I'm pretty much work.
Me too.
Well, because for me, my life is work, and I mean, why do I get up? It's because there are constant problems I need to solve, and I see myself as a problem solver, and I cannot let a problem exist, and I cannot think that there's some certain problems my team is struggling and I don't go and help. So I think at the end of the day, you don't think about the big vision every day, like changing the world, whatever, although that's the goal. But on a daily basis, you wake up, you're like, okay, I'm going to meet our clients. What's the schedule? You know, what is the things I need to do in Budapest? I want to understand the country. How can we help? You know, I mean, many things. So you don't really think the big things, but there's always things to do. And I find myself, I cannot just sit there and do nothing. I get bored.
And do you realize your impact to the crypto market? Because I think your company has one of the biggest impacts, and you have many new features. For example, the copy trading, you were the first one.
Yeah.
So do you know how much impact and how much motivation you give to the people actually?
Oh, I hope it's positive, and I hope that we can continue to be the tool. And for me, the exchange is more like an infrastructure. Yeah. It's helping people to understand crypto, to get into crypto, hopefully to make some money, and then to learn everything about crypto, right? So I think if people start like our product, they start to use it, they enjoy it, then the goal is served. Yeah.
And one more question. I'm interested in seeing the people who are not able to use the financial system, because we have, I think, 1.5 billion people still on the earth without financial system, without getting connection. But with a smartphone and with the Bybit app, they can connect, right? How do you think about this?
Oh yeah, that's a huge thing, and this is why technology changed people's lives. Yeah. It breaks a lot of the barriers. So for crypto, that's what we witness in Africa, in Argentina, in Turkey. Actually, for countries that their own financial system is not so developed or not so stable, crypto adoption is always the highest. If you look at Southeast Asia, right, like Philippines, Indonesia, crypto adoption is really high. And that's how this technology gradually will change and evaluate the financial system. And we are the financial system. So crypto is the financial system for the future. It's like how, if you look at, it's the same story, if you look at the US, a lot of people use landlines. It's not because, and in China, people don't have landlines at all. It's not because they don't prefer the technology. It's because when the US had the phone technology, there's only landlines. So they had massive infrastructure built for landlines. Because landline, you need many poles across the mountain, the whole fucking country. And by the time that China became a bit, in the middle class, the technology of satellite phone is available. So you skip that. So the people in China never went through the technology of landline. It's the same as financial system today. People in Africa, in these new, they won't even go back to the same financial system because they will just be on the new one.
They just keep...
And they don't realize it.
Yeah.
And then the whole world is catching up. And this is why countries' economy is catching up. It's because these evolution of technology. And that's why people say, okay, Vietnam is catching up, Brazil is catching up, because they have the luxury of starting with a new technology today.
Yeah.
And they don't have a legacy issue. Yeah. So I think that's the power of this. Yeah.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you for your answers. It's really helpful.
Okay.
And I'm really grateful to meet you.
All right, man. Good meeting you.
Thank you. Ha te is biztonságosan és szabályozottan szeretnél a kriptóba belevágni, akkor használd a linkem a leírásban, és regisztrálj be a Bybitnek az EU-s platformjára. Ha mindezt megteszed, nem csak engem támogatsz, hanem odaadom számodra ingyenesen a tudást, amelyre szükséged van, ingyenesen megkapod az oktatóanyagokat, hozzáférsz a VIP Discord közösséghez, és még profi indikátorokkal is megdoblak. Hogyha mindez tetszik, akkor használd a linket a leírásban, majd pedig töltsd ki a kérdőívet a weboldalon keresztül.